Good day, everyone, and happy June 1st, 2021. I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day and a Memorial Weekend, and I hope you all remembered our men and women who died for our freedom. That is the purpose of Memorial Day. So I know we had a nice service out at the cemetery yesterday, and I want to thank everybody who came out for that and everybody who participated in it. It was a very nice ceremony. But today, the reason we're broadcasting is to bring everybody up to speed on our COVID situation and also where we're at in terms of the proclamation, the emergency orders that we had in place that required mask mandates and that sort of thing. Due to vaccines and everybody doing a pretty good job, our infection rates are way down, and so the city has decided that we will lift our mask mandate. So I have a proclamation here. It's a little bit long, so bear with me. I did want to read it because there are some important points in it, and let's if anybody has any questions, please reach out to us. Let us know. We'd be happy to. This proclamation will be available online, as a matter of fact, so you can read it yourself. But again, it takes effect today, June 1st, 2021. So let me read it. So this is a proclamation from the City of Casa Grande, emergency proclamation, amending prior proclamations related to face coverings, limits on public meetings, and other limits on services of the City of Casa Grande. Whereas ARS 26-311 authorizes the mayor of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, to proclaim the existence of a local emergency when the City of Casa Grande is affected or likely to be affected by a public calamity or disaster. The City of Casa Grande charter and state law allow the mayor to govern by proclamation during these times. And whereas on March 18th, that was when we listed or issued the first proclamation, March 18th, 2020, the mayor and city council of the City of Casa Grande adopted resolution number 5223, declaring an emergency within the city as a result of the threat of COVID-19 outbreak. And as I, the mayor of City of Casa Grande, proclaimed an emergency within the City of Casa Grande and set forth certain regulations and orders concerning the operation of the city during this time of emergency. Whereas the COVID-19 global pandemic has been the worst public health crisis facing the state of Arizona and the United States in over a century, causing over 590,000 deaths in the United States and over 17,500 deaths in Arizona, including nearly 900 deaths in Pinal County alone. Whereas over 33 million U.S. residents have been confirmed to have contracted COVID-19, with 879,000 cases in Arizona, and while many cases are asymptomatic, a good number of the survivors have done so only after serious illness and hospitalizations, with some suffering symptoms months after the initial diagnosis. Whereas, in order to combat this threat, I, as mayor, have previously taken steps to help slow the spread of this virus and its effects, including implementing changes in service delivery by the city to assure adequate social distancing during times of substantial transmission, implementing mandates to wear face coverings when unable to socially distance to help slow the spread, and by working with the community to help educate our citizens on the importance of mitigation measures, good hygiene, and social responsibility. And whereas vaccines to help protect against the effects of COVID-19 have been available to most individuals 18 and older in the state of Arizona and in the City of Casa Grande for some time, and many of our citizens have already taken advantage of the significant protections afforded by the vaccine, with studies showing full vaccination affording greater than 90% effectiveness at preventing both mild and severe cases, which has helped spark a decline in the number and rate of cases in the city of Casa Grande. Whereas, although it is imperative that more of our citizens get vaccinated to help assure we can all defeat the COVID-19 threat, in order to recognize the decrease in cases and balance that with the desire to help return the city to normal services levels, both in the business community and in the public sector, I have determined the following orders are necessary and appropriate for the public health and the order of the city of Casa Grande. Now, therefore, it is hereby proclaimed and ordered as follows. Number 1, Emergency Proclamation Number 4, dated June 19th, 2020, which imposed face covering requirements in public settings within the city where continuous physical distancing was difficult to achieve, is hereby repealed. It is in its entirety as of June 1, 2021. In accordance with current CDC guidelines, I still urge unvaccinated people to continue to wear face mask coverings and maintain continuous physical distancing to slow the spread of COVID-19. And urge all citizens to continue to practice good hygiene and be socially aware and conscious of the continued presence of the virus in our community. Nothing in this proclamation prevents a business establishment from setting its own stricter guidelines or standards for masking and social distancing for that business, or from refusing access to anyone not in compliance with those private standards. While this order does rescind the requirement for face coverings in city-owned facilities, the Casa Grande City Court, which is subject to the direction of the Arizona Supreme Court and Superior Court in Pinal County, may continue to require face coverings pursuant to such direction, and nothing in this order affects requirements for wearing face coverings in public transportation or as otherwise currently required by federal law or regulation. Number 2, paragraph 4 and 5 of Emergency Proclamation Number 1, dated March 18, 2020, related to recommendations for limits on dining and other services are hereby repealed. Further, paragraph 3 of the Emergency Proclamation Number 2, dated March 27, 2020, and related to closure of park facilities is repealed as necessary under current guidance. And number 3, in order to provide citizens with more access to public meetings effective June 1st, the city's restrictions on in-person attendance at city council meetings and boards and commission meetings is, as well as pause on public comment at those meetings, as set forth in paragraph 4 of the Emergency Proclamation Number 2, dated March 27, 2020, and as amended by paragraph 1 of Emergency Proclamation Number 6, issued in December of 2020, is hereby repealed. The city manager shall, however, retain the authority to limit capacity of the city council chamber or other facilities in order to provide additional distancing for those citizens that are not vaccinated, and to take such other action to limit meetings if necessary due to a significant increase in the number of COVID-19 cases. Number 4, consistent with the city's practice over the past several weeks of encouraging additional outdoor events, and in recognition of both the executive orders of the governor of the state of Arizona and the decrease in cases within the city, any restrictions on the size of events or mitigation measures needed to approve those events is set forth in paragraph 5 and 6 of the Emergency Proclamation Number 5, issued in December of 2020, and as amended by Emergency Proclamation Number 7, dated the 23rd day of February 2021, are hereby formally repealed. As the city and the state return to work, and as the city continues to add employment through the city's economic development activities and efforts, the temporary moratorium on late fees for unpaid utility billings and utility shutoffs as well as the extension of pet licensing or business licenses provided for in paragraph 6 of the Emergency Proclamation number 2, dated March 27, 2020, is hereby repealed as of July 1st, 2021. Nothing in this order affects the powers and directions otherwise granted to the city code, to the finance director, or city manager related to billing and collection. City staff is directed to reach out to ensure that citizens are informed of the return to service in this area and should make information available to citizens expressing a need in this area about the city's partners that may be able to provide utility assistance. The city's manager authority to limit city services or access to city facilities in the event of a significant increase in the number of COVID-19 cases is hereby affirmed, and he remains authorized and directed to take all necessary and appropriate actions to promote public health and safety, including limiting or prohibiting access to public facilities and public meetings as authorized by Arizona law. The city manager further retains all the other authority delegated to the city manager by an emergency proclamation, not inconsistent with the repeals set forth herein, as well as all other authority provided to him by the state law or city code. The mayor of the city of Casa Grande has determined that the orders included in this proclamation are necessary to preserve the peace and order, to protect life and property, and to promote and preserve the public safety and welfare of the city of Casa Grande by taking actions related to the spread of COVID-19 and provide protections to the city residents, including those most vulnerable to infection, while still preserving the authority of essential services. The mayor retains and reserves the emergency powers as set forth in the city's charter and under Arizona law to revise, extend, modify, or amend this proclamation or issue such other regulations as required during this continuing emergency. All citizens and businesses are once again urged to cooperate with all proclamations of the city, as well as to cooperate with safety announcements, advisories, and restrictions established by national, state, and local officials. I urge unvaccinated individuals to continue to comply with directions and suggestions concerning limiting gatherings, social distancing, and face coverings in order to slow the spread of COVID-19. COVID-19 is still here, so let's remember that. I further urge all our citizens to inform themselves on the availability of COVID-19 vaccines, and for those citizens that are so inclined to take advantage of the significant protections against COVID-19 the vaccine can provide. And finally, thank you to everyone who's worked diligently, debated civilly, and sought to work together toward ultimate goal, really, of eliminating COVID-19. To staff and to all of our citizens, just a big thank you. It was a hard time. It was a difficult year, and we have made it through it, and I appreciate everybody's efforts. So I think that's probably enough on this subject, and I want to wish everybody a great first day in June and hope that the rest of the month is even better. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day.